Dolphins. We all know them, right? They'd be super smart, playful animals that zip through the ocean, but earnestly, there's so much more to them than what we see on the surface. In this video, we're going to talk about the amusing world of dolphins. We're going to cover pretty much everything, from what they actually are, to how they live and communicate in the big blue sea. By the end, you're going to have a whole new appreciation for these incredible creatures. Alright, let's kick things off with some Dolphin 101, just getting the basics down. Now, here's the first thing that trips a lot of people up. You see a dolphin in the ocean, you think fish, right? But nope, they are 100% mammals, just like you and me. That means they have to breathe air, they give birth to live babies, they're warm-blooded, and the moms feed their young with milk. So if they have to breathe air, how do they do it while living underwater? Well, they've got this awesome adaptation called a blowhole. It's basically just a single nostril, but it's right on the top of their head. And get this, when a baby dolphin, called a calf, is born, its mom will actually push it straight up to the surface so it can take its very first breath of air. Okay, so now we know what a dolphin is. Let's zoom out and take a look at their world. Where you can find them and how long they stick around. And when I say their world, I mean the whole world. Dolphins are genuine global citizens. You can find them in pretty much every ocean on the planet, from super warm tropical waters all the way to cooler seas. Most of them are saltwater creatures, but there are even a few special kinds that live in freshwater rivers. And this map here gives us a little peek into how scientists figure all this stuff out. This is a research spot in New Zealand where they've learned a ton about how dolphins move around. For example, they found the dolphins tend to hang out closer to the shore in the spring, and they move further out when the water gets colder in the fall. So what about a dolphin's life story? Well, it starts with a baby calf that nurses for about 10 months. Around age 6, they'll mature enough to start their own family. And after a gestation period of about 10 months, a female can have her very own calf. It's a whole cycle that can last a surprisingly long time, anywhere from 20 to a whopping 50 years. Alright, this brings us to one of the absolute coolest things about dolphins, their social lives. It's super complex. Let's take a look at what life is like inside the pod. Dolphins are not solo creatures. They're all about family, and their family groups are called pods. A normal pod might have anywhere from a couple to maybe 30 dolphins, who do everything together: hunt, travel, play, you name it. But here's where it gets crazy. Sometimes, if there's a ton of food around, different pods will join up and form what scientists call superpods. We're touting thousands of dolphins all in one place. Can you even imagine that? And it's not just a free-for-all in these pods. There's a whole social structure. There's a pecking order. And usually, the youngest dolphins are at the bottom of a ladder. As they get older, they have to establish their rank. And one of the ways they show who's boss is by, well, biting. There may be these parallel scratches called rake marks on each other's skin with their teeth to communicate status. Of course, life in the ocean isn't always easy. The main natural enemy a dolphin has to worry about is a shark, which is why sticking together in a pod is so important for protection. But sadly, the biggest threats they face actually come from us humans. Things like getting tangled in fishing nets, ocean pollution, and even being hunted. So, in the end, a dolphin's best friends are definitely the other dolphins in their pod. All that swimming, socializing, and avoiding sharks takes a whole lot of energy. So what exactly fuels a dolphin? Let's talk about what's on the menu. Dolphins are carnivores, and they're not too picky. They love to eat small fish that travel in big schools, like mackerel or mullet. But they'll also happily munch on squid, krill, and sometimes even plankton. It really just depends on where they are and what time of year it is. But it's not just what they eat that's so cool, it's how they eat. They are brilliant hunters. For instance, they use this technique called carouseling. The whole pod works together like a well-oiled machine. They swim in circles around a school of fish, herding them into a tight ball right up against the surface. It's pure teamwork, and it makes dinner super easy to catch. Okay, we've covered the basics of dolphin life, but now for the really fun stuff. Let's run through 5 fascinating facts that you probably didn't know about dolphins. First question. Dolphins have a whole mouthful of teeth, so they must chew their food, right? Wrong! A dolphin can have over 100 teeth, but not a single one is for chewing. They're just for grabbing onto slippery fish and then, gulp, they swallow their food whole. And they always eat it head first, so the fins and spines don't get caught in their throat. Smart! Okay, number 2. They're surrounded by salt water 24/7, so they have to drink it, don't they? No, again, they actually get all the hydration they need from the food they eat. The fish and squid in their diet have enough water in them to keep a dolphin going. Pretty cool, huh? Fact number 3 is a straight up superpower. Dolphins can basically see with sound. It's called echolocation, just like bats use. They send out these clicking noises and then listen for the echoes that bounce back. And here's the wild part: their teeth and jawbone act like a super sensitive antenna, picking up those echoes and creating a detailed mental picture of everything around them. Okay, you have to hear this next one because it is just mind blowing. Researchers have figured out that every single dolphin develops its own unique whistle. It's basically a name. And even crazier, other dolphins will copy that exact whistle to call out to that specific dolphin. They literally call each other by name. That's something almost no other animal on Earth does. And for our last fact, ever wonder how scientists know how old a dolphin is? Well, it's just like a tree. A dolphin's teeth form growth rings, a new one every single year. So you can literally count the rings on a tooth to figure out its age. So, knowing all this, how incredibly smart and social they are, it really leaves us with a big question to think about. As they face more and more dangers from human activities, what can we do to make sure they'll be thriving in our oceans for generations to come? Alright, that is it for this video, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you in the next video.